Presenting Seculia, GAIO Technology's Security Threat Analysis Support Tool. Software security is a current and growing problem. As more and more important functions and systems become controlled by software, attacks on those systems become increasingly serious social issues, because they not only affect the systems and the functions those systems provide, but they can also endanger the people who use them, because the attacks take place and the weaknesses are exposed only after the system has gone into use. The expectation that these systems will be built securely is a significant responsibility for technology manufacturers and administrators, but many cannot keep up with the growing threats they face, and it becomes harder and harder to foresee all those threats during the development process. Standards exist to try and help the situation. ISO 26262 defined the safety requirements of automotive systems back in 2011 and was updated in 2018. The new standard, ISO 21434, aims to define the requirements for cybersecurity in automotive systems. As an example of how to deal with such an attack, when the system is attacked, a security threat is exposed. Investigation reveals the cause of the attack, and a countermeasure is proposed for that threat, which is implemented. However, until a full analysis that reveals all existing threats and development that includes protection against those threats is implemented, the system is still under threat. So a complete threat analysis is essential to protect the system. Looking at the problem-solving process in detail, it consists of threat analysis, in which we ask what is being threatened, how is it being threatened, and how can that threat be countered. Then secure design and secure programming implement the countermeasure, and finally, the effectiveness of the countermeasure is tested. We designed Seculia to provide a common platform for the process of analyzing threats, with useful functions for each step of that process. For identifying the threats, Seculia lets you itemize the system from a block diagram and identify the assets to be protected in each block. The threats to each block are determined, and the risk of those threats being realized is assessed using attack trees and threat and risk assessment charts. This allows you to select the risks that must be addressed. Countermeasures can be determined by selecting from a database of possible solutions, and then these security measures are implemented as part of the development process. The scope for Seculia usage is from concept planning to system realization. It can also be used to update the design when new incidents are detected. Among the benefits of using Seculia is that it can help overcome the problem that system security is rarely considered at a concept level, but more often as an afterthought to system design. Because of this viewpoint, the responses to problems are often localized to where the problem occurred and do not address the weakness in the system as a whole, meaning that loopholes or reoccurrences can happen and similar threats elsewhere in the system can go untreated. Seculia allows and encourages consideration of the system as a whole to overcome these limitations. With tools like attack trees and a database of countermeasures, a deeper and more structured approach can be achieved, giving countermeasures with a proven track record. Seculia supports the threat analysis process in several ways, helping to identify the threats, analyze the risks they pose, and prepare and document the required countermeasures. Let's take a look at some of the functions it provides. A block definition diagram is a description of the system in terms of its components, the assets they contain, and the ways in which those assets can be threatened. It helps designers to understand the security requirements of the system better. This helps the designers to prepare a security requirements diagram, which shows the relationship between requirements and the attacks that necessitate them, as well as the hierarchy of requirements within the system. Attack tree diagrams are based on a standard called EVITA and allow easy to understand representation of the various sources of attacks and the ways they interact. The risk assessment tool helps designers assess each risk in numerical terms based on several metrics related to each risk, according to the common criteria framework of ISO standard 15408. Seculia also allows easy determination of the minimum cut set, the minimum combination of events that would lead to a particular top-level incident occurring. This helps to clearly identify the most serious threats. Furthermore, Seculia allows both security risks and safety risks to be assessed in the same fashion. More information on the full range of test tools from GAIO Technology can be found on our website. Thank you for your time and attention.